You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here.
Oh, wir haben auch irgendwo ein Inventar. Nein, eine Liste oder so. Oder schauen wir später noch rein. Ein Tagebuch vielleicht. Jetzt hier hinten was.
The little label on the door reads Baroness von Trebitz. Blue blood on the Orient Express.
Ja, klopfen wir mal.
Yes, what is it?
Whoever that is, James, ask them whether they found my purse and then closed the door. The noise on this train is driving me crazy.
You're missing a purse. Was it stolen?
At the very least, I cannot find it, sir.
It was stolen.
When did you... When was the last time the Baroness saw her purse?
What?
In Zurich, on the platform, sir.
I just asked where you last saw your purse.
In Zurich on the platform. James, tell him that I still had it when I got out to stretch my legs.
The Baroness says...
Maybe you lost it there.
What?
The Baroness never loses anything, sir.
I never lose anything.
Very well then. I shall be on the lookout for your purse. If I might ask you a few questions about your fellow passengers.
I thought he was looking for my purse. James, tell him to look for my purse.
The Baroness wishes that you search for her
Vielleicht erzählt
purse.
sie uns später was über
But
die...
couldn't we perhaps... All right. First, the purse. I will have a look around.
Thank you, sir.
Ja, es scheint ja viele Probleme hier zu geben. So, vielleicht gehen wir gleich nochmal an den Anfang des Zuges. Vielleicht ist es da nicht so lang. Hier können wir nochmal...
Perhaps a thoughtful conductor noticed that Professor Lucien wasn't in his compartment and locked it.
Das wäre allerdings ziemlich blöd, denn wie kommt er dann wieder zurück?
This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine. The large map shows the different routes of the Orient Express. This train began in Paris and ends in Istanbul as usual. Unfortunately, it will make most of its journey without me.
Na, das werden wir noch rausfinden. Können wir hier auch durchgehen? Sieht allerdings nicht so aus.
The train covers a distance of more than 3,000 kilometers. It stops at a dozen places. In many cities, they entertain the travelers with local specialities and culture and adventure, especially in southeastern Europe.
Sonst gibt es hier auch nichts, dann drehen wir um. Und weiter. Den Saloon. Kurze Ladezeit. In der Zeit ist wahrscheinlich der Zug schon längst durch an der Stelle.
I don't believe it.
Ah, noch irgendwer Berühmtes. Vielleicht die Queen?
I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner.
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure. A passenger's purse has gone missing. I suppose you haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, Constable Zellner. As you know, I only deal with murder, not burglary.
Have you asked my boy yet? Maddie is good at finding things.
I'll go and do that now. May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on holiday?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Oha.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl, became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine. Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there, we will take a ship to
Sie
Cairo.
alle in
As you may know,
Venedig möchten.
I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again as an old woman.
I see. As a writer, you must be very observant, am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me suspiciously as I came in.
What do you want to know, Constable?
Did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make a good impression. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed on you.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they have far too little.
Ja. Die alte Generation.
Did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward never appeared, he elected to help himself. He took 2 biscuits.
He seems pretty young, but he's already a professor at the British Museum.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him later. Just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course. Did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor or the Baroness?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the direction of the freight car a few minutes ago. Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my theory about what he's doing here?
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation in public.
Legrand, right. That was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
As much as I'd like to keep talking, duty calls.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came in. You seemed so eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam.
And this is it. Your
Ja,
chance.
das
I
werden
do
wir
hope
noch
so.
rausfinden.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes, as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best.
Vielleicht können wir noch mit ihr sprechen.
Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott from me, a pushy admirer. Very diligent.
Ja.
But she does seem a little nervous and tense. I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Matt. And a difficult boss, from what they say.
Ist vielleicht nicht so schlau, wenn direkt zu ihr steht und dann über sie spricht.
Mrs. Miller made a good
Okay,
impression.
nochmal das
But she
Gleich.
does. I imagine. An extraordinary woman. Talented, intellectual, extremely rich, and the most successful writer of all time.
Vielleicht.
Yet, they say she can be difficult on occasion, and that she's rather unhappy.
Vielleicht befinden wir uns auch einfach, während wir die Selbstgespräche führen, in einer anderen Dimension. So, hier gab's was.
The steward must have forgotten the toothpicks. Normally, he would offer them discreetly after dinner.
Nehmen wir doch mal mit. Nur einen. Na gut. Dann. Ja, dann kommen wir wieder in das andere. Würde ich sagen, gehen wir ein Stück weiter. uns auch 2 Biscuits nehmen. Steht ja immerhin keiner.
Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth.
Okay, leckere Bonbons. Ja, schauen wir mal unter die Bar.
I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence.
Bleistift.
The pad on which the steward writes orders, empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today.
Aber das könnten wir ja theoretisch mal raus.
I don't need the pad, but the pencil might come in handy.
Wenn wir nämlich mit dem Stift über das erste Blatt streifen würden. Naja.
The steward probably uses the scissors on hard-to-open packages. These days, nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about dry powdered soup in small bags. I couldn't believe it. I'll leave the scissors here. If I need them, I know where to find them.
Okay.
Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there.
Dann schauen wir mal. Oder auch nicht.
Locked. Where could he be?
So, gibt's hier noch was? Können wir...
Maybe if I just suck it.
Genau. Nimm dir noch eins.
Who'd have thought that one day butterscotch would remind me of my age and of all the things I had to leave behind?
Na, dann nicht. So, was haben wir jetzt? Zahnstocher, Bleistift und Bonbons. Okay, hier war gerade irgendwas, das ist hier aufgeploppt.
A shortwave radio. It's amazing how small these things have become in the last 10 years.
Ja, das können wir mal anmachen.
A shortwave
Jetzt drängt sich gerade die Frage auf, wo die Hintergrundmusik herkommt. So, kommen wir hier wieder zurück. Oh. Oha. Hallo.
Ah, Mr.
Zellner.
Right. How can I help you?
The Baroness is missing her purse.
A baroness? This train is really full of the creme de la creme. The queen of crime is over there, and now a baroness as well.
Have you seen the purse?
Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady Westmacott? You were talking to her.
Well, I'm an admirer of her work.
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare and the Bible sell more copies than her crime novels.
I read that too.
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor, I'd have to work 1,000 years to earn that kind of money.
There's something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves and didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He's not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
So, nach wem haben wir gerade eigentlich gefragt? Keine Ahnung.
Any news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
Well, one cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to new and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
Okay, irgendwas Verdächtiges.
Tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legarde is his name, if I recall correctly.
Le Grand.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
What's inside
I
the
do
box?
indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make one wonder.
Indeed.
Ich frage mich ja, wann das Ganze
Your newspaper
spielt.
caught my eye. May I borrow it for a second?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out.
Here you go.
Dankeschön. Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat, really.
So, aber wir könnten... Ach nee, können wir das Fenster öffnen? Gibt's hier noch was?
I made the acquaintance of Dr. Gebhardt on the platform in Zurich.
Dann gehen wir mal raus. Ist das überhaupt die richtige Richtung? Wir haben uns ja mittlerweile schon, glaube ich, einmal wieder gedreht. Ach nee, hier hoch. Genau.
The ladder leads up to the roof. It will be suicidal to climb up there while the train is at full speed. The wind, tunnels... No, I'll stay down here.
Bist du dir sicher? Scheint so.
A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here.
Ja, und das ist nicht suicidal.
Locked.
Bang! Bang!
Huh?
Don't move!
Matt, have you gone mad?
I'll shoot! Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, sure. Now get moving.
Oh, man.
Vielleicht ist ja doch ein Geist gerade am Fenster vorbeigeflogen, wer weiß. Das finden wir vielleicht noch raus. Das wäre
I strongly suspect that the door is locked.